Lần đầu tiên trên VTV7, một sân chơi tranh biện bằng tiếng Anh đã xuất hiện. Đó là những chiến binh tranh biện với tinh thần tự tin, văn minh và vô cùng sáng tạo.
Education is the key to the future.
Never satisfied with what you're having.
When will it be enough?
You are never too small to make a difference.
We think that the balanced view here is to know all perspectives, to know all the pros and the cons of what you're fighting for.
Họ đã cống hiến những trận thi đấu hấp dẫn và đầy cảm xúc.
Wow, was so smooth, that was so well prepared.
I love the energy that comes from both sides. I love the enthusiasm that follows the energy and the good content.
Are going to one team. That is
Giải thưởng dành cho nhà vô địch The Debaters mùa thứ nhất là một chuyến học tập và trải nghiệm 2 tuần chương trình dự bị trung học và đại học của chương trình SACE International tại bang Nam Úc do SACE Việt Nam và Ủy ban Trường học bang Nam Úc tài trợ. Và các giải thưởng do Trung tâm Anh ngữ RES trao tặng. Đội thi hay nhất do ban giám khảo lựa chọn nhận phần thưởng trị giá 60 triệu đồng. Người nói hay nhất nhận phần thưởng trị giá 15 triệu đồng. Đội có lượt phản hồi hay nhất nhận phần thưởng 30 triệu đồng. Và bây giờ đã đến lúc đi tìm nhà vô địch của The Debaters mùa thứ nhất.
Hello, welcome to The Debaters, a game show for high school students who are practicing English and debate skills. We're here with VTV7, an educational channel based in Vietnam. I'm your host, Dustin Xavier. We are here today with the second episode of the Top 12. In the previous episode, we had an intense and a little bit heated argument with some of the students. But we found a winner, and they're moving to the quarterfinals. But today, we're not talking about the environment. We're talking about something a little bit different. Today's motion, that we oppose the rise of sharing culture on social media. With the advancement of technology, most people probably have a phone, computer, and it's international worldwide. Everyone has been exposed to Facebook, Instagram, in Vietnam, maybe Zalo, and it's something that everyone might or probably already has an opinion about. So this topic, it's quite interesting.
This is one of the motions that I really like. The reason is because this motion, it talks about something very close to the students, which is social media. I told them about how they should set up the case because there is a lot of terms in here that they have to make sure they understand it, they explain about it, and they can analyze about it.
I think that based on this topic, the student first can expand their knowledge and second, be more aware of what is happening around them.
Well, if we look at the Firesetters, 3 robust young students, beautiful girls, they are confident in what they have to say. I think they're, beautiful speakers, lovely pronunciation. I told one of them just to watch for her body language. She had a very closed body language. So I told her, to stop that when we go live for the debate, for sure. The Debatable Piggies, another mistake that they were making, this particular team, they were giving 3 points at a time because if you throw great points together, they just get watered down and good points will be lost.
I think that both teams have their own strengths and I just want to create a really heated debate to attract more people to this competition.
So I would hope that this motion would be fun, easy, but at the same time a little bit challenging for the team today.
So we're very eager to hear from the contestants what they have to think about this. So please welcome on the stage, which is a very interesting name, the Debatable Piggies. So we have ~NG HaltiN, TRANH, Welcome to the debaters. You girls will be the proposition team, so you support the motion today. All right. So for the second team, which is kind of like a dangerous name a little bit, and hopefully we don't have problems in the studio, the Firesetters. So please welcome PHÜN Đḵ, Bỏ Than Luân, Giáo Nguyễn, Trung Vân. Welcome to the debaters. You will be the opposition team, so you do not agree with the motion today. So you guys feeling all right? You feeling confident for this?
Yes, definitely.
Yes, of course, definitely. I think you guys prepared quite a lot today as well. So for you guys, how many of you have Facebook?
All
All of us. Instagram?
Yeah.
I think so.
Zello?
Yes.
All right, so for this topic, you guys, I think you probably have a lot to say. So thank you, and please return to your seats. So thank you guys, because now we're going to be introducing the judges. So thank you. Thank you. So for the first judge, Miss Nguyễn TRÄNH, professional debate coach. For the next judge, we have Mr. Nguyễn HữI, co-founder, IEG Education. Last but not least, we have Mr. Evan O'Donohoe, professional English coach. So thank you, judges. We all appreciate you guys coming out today and giving us your time. We know you're going to be fair, giving lots of positive criticism and encouraging students to be better debaters. So thank you for coming out. So we need our contestants. From the proposition team, please welcome Phạm Ngọc Tiên. From the opposition team, please welcome PHÜN Đḵ. So welcome to the debaters. So the rules for the debaters, round one. So each team will have 3 minutes to give a presentation. So with the proposition team, right here, you will be going first.
Yes.
So, and remember, no POI is allowed during the first round. Is that understood?
Yes.
So I think you guys understand the rules quite clearly.
Yes.
Do you?
Yeah, I understand it.
All right, good. That's what I like to hear. So are you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, the first round has officially begun.
Whoa, a case of Ebola has been discovered in Vietnam. Please share this post to warn your friends. Does this sound kind of familiar to all of you? Well, in fact, these meaningless posts have been shared widely nowadays. And for the sake of likes, views, and also the trendiness of their posts, people are willing to do anything. And that is why we're here today to advocate the rise of sharing culture on social media. So, on to our definition. So, according to Sage Journal, sharing culture is related to social network, and it grows informally within the region and between diverse stakeholders. And this is a byproduct of the economic recession and the wider use of online devices. So, reflecting on the definition of culture, sharing nowadays has become a way of life, general customs that people of all age are following. So, in conclusion, we consider sharing is a culture. So, on to the important part. So, we define the rise is the widespread, the popularity, and the enthronement of the action of sharing on social media. It is rising in the number of people are doing this and the diversity of the content that are sharing, and also the amount of money that people are pouring in onto this habit of users. So businesses are now relying on the sharing culture to make a profit. Like you see, some of the shops have a lot of people to share their products and the salary is rising. So other people are using this habit for another purpose, like for example, politics. So it is affecting our world, both economically and societally. So sharing has been around for longer than social media. But in a digitalized world like today, with technological happening every day, so technology has become an essential part of life. And social media is a part of technology. So social media is now becoming an inseparable part of life to us. I bet that none of you here actually not using social media every day. So our first case is the distortion of information and the rise of fake news. And our second is the privacy of users. So on to our first point. the nature of social network is that anybody can post anything without penalty or without any fact check. So that leads to a point that it creates opportunity for people with bad motive to disrupt the public perception to benefit themselves. And this is the rise where the rise of the fake news begin. Facebook, Twitter, anyone can be a self-proclaimed expert on any aspect social of life. And now we are on the verge of harmful fake news and dangerous relief. We are very proud to stand on side of proposition. Thank you.
We're living in a world where technology is developing, which will lead to the development of social media. However, in the other hand, sharing culture has been around for a long time. Nowadays, people are adapting a new method of sharing information, which is indirectly through online social media sites. And more and more people are using it to connect and to share information, that it is becoming an inseparable part of life. And we believe that the existence and the development of social media had led to the rise of sharing culture on these platforms. And we believe that this rise will be beneficial to the individuals and society as a whole. And we are here to oppose this motion. First of all, I would like to give out some rebuttals. You say that on social media, anybody can post anything, including fake news. However, social media or real-life conversations, people can include their emotions, their feelings into what they say, what they express. So even in real-life conversations, the news that they're giving can be totally true. And when you post something on these sites, there will be different aspects, different perspectives of these one event, and people, readers, followers, they can make the decision to choose which side they will believe, which post they will trust. Next, I would like to move on to our case. Our case has two substantives in total. The first one is that this would lead to more effective communication, and the second one is that this would help to tackle down social issues. I would like to present our first substantive. Communication is an essential part of life, which includes exchanging, expressing, and discussing information in order to help to understand each other more. Why is communication important? It is because it spreads a positive energy when giving and receiving information about new perspective of life from different people. It helps you to understand the picture of society, and it boosts the intimacy between people and people. And when you are communicating, you are sharing information, you are understanding the people you are talking to, which will result in less conflict, in higher efficiency in working, and sympathy. And when you are sharing through platforms like social media, it will give you something called a safety net. Because when you talk to someone in real life, especially when the topic is sensitive, you would feel shy, you have psychological issue, you feel uncomfortable talking and discussing to someone about these topics. Where when you're online, you have an account, you have a cover, and you will feel more comfortable to express what you want to say. You'll feel more comfortable to say anything that you want. Therefore, we believe that sharing information through social media is effective, and the rise of sharing culture on social media has given a more effective way of communication. Thank you.
All right. First match, done. You feel okay?
I feel pretty confident.
Yeah, I was surprised. You girls did a great job. Very articulate with how you're saying things, but we want to hear from the judges. So judges, give it to us.
I know it's really stressful when you have to start the first. Now, in terms of the first thing I want to point out to proposition sign today is time management. I think you spend way too much time, like around 30 seconds on the introduction, which basically you can shorten it much more than this. And because of that, you spend like only around 25 or 30 seconds for the arguments, which is basically not enough. Usually it takes averagely 50 to 1 minute for one argument to be fully explained. For the opposition side today, I think that your structure is very, very clear. I really like your structure. However, there's a lot of questions about how or why that I'm still having after your speech. For example, you say about the audience, they can decide which aspect they're going to believe in. Now, my question is how you can make sure that the audience can decide about that, and why is it good that we have more aspects aspect for the audience to design on. Or when you say about the safety net, I think that's a really brilliant idea, but you need to explain to me why people would feel colder or feel safer when they are online. So for the current situation, it is very, very close. A neck-to-neck debate situation right now, because one team, you have very, very detailed explanation, but when it comes to the argument, you just lack a lot of content in there. For one team, you also lack a lot of content, but you have enough parts in your speech. So I would give my 10 points now to the opposition side, but I believe the proposition side has a really, really good chance to chase the opposition side.
I know that going first must be a lot of nerves for you guys, so very well done for the both of you. For the proposition team, building on what my fellow judge mentioned before, a bit of time management, I felt that you spent quite a bit of time defining the terms for the audience here and at home, and not enough time making your stance clear from the beginning. But that being said, there was a lot of good things to come out of that. You had a good flow, a good speech rate, and your speaking was very clear and understandable. For the opposition team, I felt that the layout and the organization of yours was very good. I like that you outlined what you were going to talk about and then further explained it. I will be giving my 10 points for the first round to the opposition team.
Here I see a very common weakness in both of your debate. So basically, both give out reasons to back up for your arguments, but I felt these are just very general reasons. For example, you say that bad motives or we are on the verge of harmful news. I don't see the rationale for harmful or bad motives. Basically, whenever you give out something, make sure that you back it up with evidence, data, and numbers. Do not just throw out like general reasoning, because when you go to debating and you just give general reasoning, it's very hard to see which team argument will win over the other team's argument, right? The same thing for this team. You say that there's news perspective, there's less conflict, there's higher efficiency in work. Where do you get those evidence from? It's very easy to just surf on these very general reasoning without very strong data and number to back it up. It's very hard for you to win over the other arguments because all of these reasonings are valid, but which reasoning is stronger, you need to back it up with strong evidence, right? I have to say this topic or this motion is a very balanced motion. Both sides will have strong arguments, but whichever team come up with stronger evidence to back up your reasoning to convince us that our reasons is stronger than your reasons, that will be the winning team. But that said, I will give my 10 points to the team that at least give me a stronger structure. So that could be the opposition team. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you, judges. Appreciate that. So now we have Debatable Piggies, Firesetters, 30 points here, 0 points here. But I don't want you to be discouraged because we still have 2 more rounds and then a final match. So the game can change at any time now. So it doesn't mean you're going to win because you can still win the debate. So for now, girls, thank you so much. Please go back to your seats. We have finally finished the first match. 30 points for the Firesetters, 0 for the Debatable Piggies. That doesn't mean it's going to determine the final results for the show, because we still have 2 more matches and then a final match. So for right now, we're going to get ready for the second match, but we'll see you in a second.
After the first round, the opposition side has gained some advantages.
The nature of social network is that anybody can post anything without penalty.
And we believe that these rights will be beneficial to individuals and society as a whole.
I know it's really stressful when you have to start the first.
So that could be the opposition team.
To the opposition team.
While it may seem unbalanced, the match has just started. All the surprises still await.
Welcome back to the second round of the debaters. In this round, please welcome, from the proposition team, CHÚNG, BIểN. From the opposition team, please welcome, TRANH. welcome. So right now, there's a little point difference. We have 0 and 30. So how are you feeling?
Well, it's a little bit stressed, but hope to do well.
Yeah, because the judges were saying good things, so maybe you guys revised a little bit so it can bring in a better argument and have time management.
Yeah.
How are you feeling with a 30-point lead?
Nothing can be expected, but temporarily happily.
Okay, so happy right now, but let me just remind you, it can change.
Yeah.
After this round, they can be winning, you could be losing.
Okay.
So we'll find out very, very soon. For the second round, each team will have 4 minutes rather than 3. So the proposition team, you will begin, and the POI is open, so you guys are allowed to interrupt each other for this. So again, keep the questions under 15 seconds. So please don't forget the rules. That's very important. So, and now, the second round begins.
To start, I would like to give out some rebuttals of our teams. We would agree with the opponent team that exchange and sharing information in the social media are really easy. However, exactly why millions of posts about National Giving Birth at Home have been sharing and post a lot on social medias, and then this will definitely lead to the decisions of parents that they refusing to choose the safety of hospitals and then choosing to risk their children's life. It's also exactly why there are a lot of people sharing about anti-vaccinations without any scientific study, and then it will also lead to the parent decisions that they will not vaccinate their child but risking their life. Well, I will extend my first speaker point, and also my argument and rebuttal will be integrated. So, as my first speaker has proven, now social media are become more and more popular. Together with it's become the main means of communications. Therefore, we actually living in social media rather than living in the real world. We interact through social media. We're living in social medias, and people tend to overly depend on these social medias. Why it's happened? Because the knowledge of sharing culture on social media is a common knowledge, and it's people more likely to believe those knowledge because they see it, then they believe it. And then instead of going to the official sources like book, newspaper, magazines, where the information are verified and created by official news agents, where the information is more standard, they just get the information from the social medias and then spreading it over to the whole communities. And because of the intentions of sharing, more and more people are sharing it. And this is highly affecting the whole societies because posts on social medias, they are often using aggressive and misleading words. The reason why? Because they can gain attention from people, because they want their posts to have more likes, more shares, more popular, so they entice viewers by the ways exploit their mentalities. And people, as us, we are more likely use our emotions to react to those posts instead of using logics. Then now, I will start to moving to my second point. It is people like to share everything about themselves on social medias. They want to create a perfect online profile for themselves, so they sharing what they're doing, what they like, where they have been, what they eat, and then it's create a huge risk in privacy. Now let's think, privacy right now is non-existent in the internet, and this lot of privacies can easily be exploited by hackers or people with bad intentions. But more importantly, it makes everyone have a mentality to compare themselves with others. They always have to keep up with these bad images in social medias. It creates pressures on young generations. Then people start to judging each other based on their social media image. So they care less about what is actually or really happening in real life, or they just like trying to create a perfect photo and perfect image. Now, their top priorities is to take a perfect profile pictures to get more likes, more shares, more attention from other people. Therefore, we're here today to strongly believe that we oppose the rise of sharing culture on social media. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's debate. And today, the proposition team has thrown up such a negative impact of the social media on the sharing culture. And today, I'm here to oppose for the motion. And first of all, I would like to move on into my rebuttals. When you mention about people when they come into online, they come into social medias, and they're trying to create an online media, are you trying to assume that all of the people using social medias, they will create a perfect online media, a perfect online picture for the other people to see? Because the purpose of the social media is that for you to share information, for you to interact with friends, and for you to have moments together, not just focusing on perfect online media, because people can use it for different purposes. And if you say that perfect online media, people use this for this purpose, then I would suggest you give out a more reliable source to prove on this. And now I would like to go deeper into my first person substantive. I would like to give a define about the safety net. What is the safety net here? The safety net is that you can imagine it's like an area where people feel safe. And why when you're on social media, it makes you feel safer than conversation in normal. Such in normal places, when there are sensitive topics, and you won't be able to talk it. You feel shy because it is sensitive to mention to the person next to you, because it is maybe reject, because it may be relied to politics, it may be relied to religion, and you don't feel comfortable talking to it in such a public place. But when you're in a social media, when you are able to contact with others such as Messenger or such as Instagram, you are able to share your thoughts easier, because no one are there to judge you. No one is there to say your thoughts is like wrong, your thought is like right. And it's not like you're gonna go and say bad things about the subject that you are mentioning about. And why is the safety net benefits for us here? Reject. Because on the online, when you use the safety net here, that means you are having the right to state out your information. Because in our real life, you are being subject to it. And now I would like to move on to my second substantive, is that the sharing culture would have to tackle down social issues. But first, let me allow me to explain social issues. So what is social issue here? It is the controversial issues that we are trying to debate in our real life. For example, environment, etc. Reject. The claim is that there's a lot of social issues, and if we don't put it in a new platform, which is social issues, there's gonna be a ton of social issues that you are not gonna be able to put just by using the normal media. So why is that? Why we can't tackle down social issue? Because social issue, it sticks to people's life. When it sticks to people's life, when it affects to them, they're gonna debate and they're gonna discuss about it. So if the social issues are shared on the social media platform, people are gonna have more ideas and more opinions. Why? Because first of all, social issue, as I said, it doesn't only affect to the individuals, it also affects to a group in society. And when it affects to them, people would discuss who in this community, who are being affected by the social issue. And the second, when people, they care about the situation, maybe it's because it's in the same case as them. Maybe they have acknowledged it, maybe they have experienced it, or maybe they just want to give an opinion on this subject. So if those two kinds of subjects, if these social issues are posted on media, more people will be able to read. Why? First of all, social media is the fastest kind of communication at the moment. And second of all, when you put it on the social media, it is a widespread, it is national or it is national. Therefore, more people is gonna read it to you. More people means bigger attention to the social issue that you are dealing with. So therefore, if this is posted on social media, people will have a better look. People will have a better opinion. More debate about this problem will give you more briefer, we will more deeper analysis about a problem. We give you a solution to this problem. And if this creates a social issue pressure on the government is going to realize it. The government is going to realize that this is a big problem that they are going to take care about, because their citizens, they are caring about it. They're saying this, and they would take action to help to reduce issues, to link back. All this will help us to reduce the social issues that we are having nowadays. Thank you.
So judges, let's hear it.
First of all the proposition team, well done on trying to have your first debaters. Basically, I think you pick up on what she left and really strengthen her first argument. I thought that the first argument of your team is very strongly developed. That said, with the second argument, it's a little bit weak because there's a little bit loose connection between your arguments. Your rebuttal is a valid reasoning just on its own, but it's not very directly rebutting the other team's argument. So watch out for your rebuttals again. Move on to the opposition team. You have a rebuttal, but the same thing, your rebuttal is very weak because her point is about perfect online profile, easily exploited by hackers, going to impact on the people's pressure. And you always say, she doesn't mention anything about everyone, okay? She's kind of attacking her at a point where she actually doesn't mention it, okay? Whereas you're leaving out a whole strong argument of the other team, which is her first argument, you leave it unaddressed, right? So making sure that the next speakers on your team need to have a really strong rebuttals because the opposition team so far has lacked very strong rebuttal, okay? And that's said because you keep so much into reading the notes, I felt like you're just going through like a circle, right? So with that said, my points for this team will go to the proposition team, okay?
I'll start with the proposition team. For the means of communication, again, that point was very well developed, and I like that. It was very clear. Thank you. The second point, again, it was a little confusing how making the perfect profile and posting your day-to-day habits affects privacy directly. You need to make that connection a bit more clear. You didn't really extend the privacy part of that argument. But all in all, I thought this was well managed and well delivered, so thank you. Moving on to the opposition team. Move on to a bit about the safety net. What I had written here was that you mentioned that, again, more opinions, more awareness, but you also mentioned that people won't talk badly about any of these subjects, and I'm wondering how you can know that for sure if all this is anonymous. My 10 points will also be going to the prop team.
I definitely think that time management and rebuttals are very, very big holes in here that you guys have to improve, both on proposition side and opposition side. But prop side, you did really well, much better in terms of time management this time. In terms of rebuttals, about the irrelevant rebuttals, that have been dealt with. But I have one more concern in terms of rebuttals, is that you guys drop the rebuttals. So there, for both prop side and op side, there is a lot of things that you should have rebutted as well, and it was not very, very well done. So what I usually do in the rebuttals is that when I come up with rebuttals, I say I have 2 points in this rebuttal, number 1, number 2. I try to make it in 1 or 2 sentences only, go directly into it, not circling around or especially giving examples instead of reasonings. One more problem I see with the opposition side today is about overgeneralization. So you came up with ideas, you introduce the idea, and then you come up immediately to the conclusion that, oh, no one's going to be like that, or everyone's going to be like that. So it's very dangerous if you say something with absolute certainty like that, because your opponent team can simply point out one single case that doesn't follow your rules. Basically, that is how they can rebut you. For proposition side today, I'm actually impressed by the amount of information that you were able to carry throughout your speech with keeping perfectly time management as well. Of course, there were some rebuttals unsaid, but with the workload that you make today, I'm really impressed, and my 10 points definitely go to propositions today.
Because you guys are even, so dead even, 30-30. So this can be anyone's game at this point. So thank you so much for coming up. Appreciate it. For you guys, can you please take your seats? And we'll be back shortly for the third round. Get ready.
Spectacular. The proposition side has earned all 30 points from the judges Untitled Piggies.
And this is highly affecting the whole societies because posts on social medias, they are often using aggressive and misleading words.
Because the purpose of the social media is that for you to share information, for you to interact with friends, and for you to have moments together.
I thought that the first argument of your team is very strongly developed.
And my 10 points definitely go to propositions today.
Who will take the lead? Let's find out in the third round right after the break.
And now, let me introduce you to the last 2 contestants that are going to be coming up. So, from the Debatable Piggies, please welcome ~NG Halti. From the Firesetters, please welcome ~NG Halti. Welcome. It's the last round. Tied. You doing okay?
Yeah.
Similar to the second round, you will be given 4 minutes for your presentation. So the POI round is open, so you're allowed to ask questions during this time. So again, if you're asking questions, please keep them under 15 seconds. In the proposition team, you will be going first. Without further ado, let's begin the third round.
Sharing culture is just like a pack of noodles. It might be quick, easy, and convenient, but the thing we know about it is that it's not good for your health mentally and physically. It's the assumption that the opposition team is trying to provide us is that easy news are not necessarily good news. But before that, coming to the rebuttals. That say, they are trying to convince us that people online have no motivation to make themselves perfect. But before that, because likes, comments, and interactions are the only thing that determines their values on social media. Because on social media, every account is the same, and that's why they get the tendency to compare themselves to other social media to actually get more likes than others, and that is why they are incentivized to want more attention and to become better than other accounts. Secondly, they have said that the social issue that is being discussed on social media is the only way that these social issues can be raised. But again, people can also be informed by other official sources, and that is the problem here, because this opposition team is trying to tell us that the decision to choose which side they follow is because the social media allows them, but they can actually decide for themselves where the writer is giving a mutual attitude to the article. Because if the attitude and if the emotions comes with the article, they are easily convinced to the emotion that they're inclined for. And the problem with Facebook or Google, that is the feedback loop. If you're continuously exposed to an info and a particular site, you're more inclined to that perspective than when you're regularly exposed to that info, that even if that information is fake, then it is true to them. And that is again the problem here. Communication, again, people come to social media to what they can express in real life, and that is where the real problem comes. Because the more anonymous it might be, the more freely they feel to express the negative emotions, then they wouldn't mind, and they'll more intent to write critically and express their rage they can express in real life. That is the problem that the opposition team can solve. Again, let's move on to the class. There are 2 questions that we need to ask today. Firstly, what site has better info sharing? Of course, on social media, the only info that we're going to get is distorted info that by personal opinion only, and we're not going to get information from official sources and whatsoever. So I believe we won on that class. Second class, which sides the behavior of people is better? Because again, the fact that when we consider the case of Professor BI윌N, where they are immensely sharing that information everywhere without no particular knowledge and without actually knowing about what that program is about, they are just become offended because they are not against and they are not with his idea, right? The fact that by Professor BI윌N, we can actually come up with the case that cyberbullying is actually the result of sharing culture and sharing on social media, because people are more inclined to one opinion and they're just going to express that rage on social media. Again, about the personal side of the class, because we want a world where people can be properly informed, where people can care about facts rather than random posts on Facebook. We want a world where people can actually live to their true self, to live their life instead of looking at phone all day and have a perfect Facebook accounts. Let us as humans control and advance technology, not letting technology turns us into puppets. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, before getting into the comparison of the key clashes in this debate, I would like to give out some of my rebuttals to your previous speech. First of all, about the fake news problems, well, Even if there are fake news on the social network, the audience can have their own decisions to prefer their stance, to prefer the news that they will be selected in. Why? Because their own audience, they have their own mind, own thoughts, and their own stance about some problem I reject. Therefore, when they see the problem, they can analyze it, and when they see many different types of problems, it gives them more perspectives about one problem, gives them a more general view about that problems. Moreover, it could also improve the audience critical thinking, which is a very necessary skill in the world I reject. Therefore, even there are fake news, it would somehow benefit the audience. Secondly, in the second substantive, you mentioned about the privacy, like there would be hackers on the social medias. It would lead to the risk of leaking important information. However, on the platform of this kind of social media, this social media company already have the algorithm and the policy to deal with the hacker. This algorithm can be used to recognize the attempt to hacking some source of account. Therefore, this problem can be reduced at risk. And moreover, when you said in the problems of the social issues, so when people, they say something about one issue a lot of time on the network, because social issue is something that affects all people. So when the citizen talks a lot about it, the government will be concerned that this is the problems that its citizen is having, because lots of people are discussing about it. When the government are concerned, they have to take action because that country is in trouble and they have to tackle that trouble. For example, when the Amazon forest was on fire, because of many people post and raise awareness about this problem on social network, government of many countries have awareness, have awareness about this problem. Therefore, this government together put pressure on the Brazil president. Therefore, the Brazil president have an action to stop the fire in Amazon forest. In this case, our tip is not just benefit for the users, but also helps to social the bigger problems in today's society. And now I would like to move on the clashes in today's debate. That is, which team would be benefit for the user? First of all, in our side, we help to improve the quality of communications. We help people to understand each other better as they see what the other people post on the social medias. They can have discussion and they can have more topic in real life conversations. Therefore, it helps them a chance to sympathize and understand each other more. Moreover, on our side, we also help to reduce the social issues to benefit the people. Previously, we also proved that the privacy that your team stated is not really a trouble in this case, and the fake news is also a way to benefit the citizen. Thank you.
All right, that's a wrap. The third match has finally come to an end. Feeling okay?
Yes.
Yes. All right, we'll find out soon. Let's hear from the judges.
Okay, teams. I think this is by far the best round that I have judged. I definitely think that the proposition sign today have done a really, really good job. Your structure was clear, your time management was good, and you rebutted all of the points that even your teammate left them. You brought it up and you rebutted very, very skillfully and nicely. The clashes are very, very well developed as well. For the op sign today, I think that you have a very, very big burden because there was a lot of unanswered questions when it comes to your turn. And you have to answer a lot, which I see your effort in there. However, there's still something that you still have to develop. For example, what are the effects of those things? Especially the ideas about social discourse. When people discuss about it, which can eventually affect the government action. This is actually a really good idea, but it needs a lot of developments, a lot of explanation into it. And I'm afraid that your explanation now has not yet reached that standard. So it's a very, very close result, but my 10 points will go to proposition side.
I'll start off this time with the opposition team. I felt that you spent the majority of your turn giving rebuttals for what the other team said, which was good as you addressed all of them, but it also didn't leave you much time to make your own arguments for the closing part. I did like the idea that the social issues being talked about will force the government to notice and take action, and I thought that could have been expanded a little bit more. And yeah, other than that, it was very good. Thank you. I thought you brought up quite a few good things. Thank you. The proposition team started with an analogy and threw me off a little bit, and then but then went into the rebuttals, and those were addressed carefully and well. I thought the strongest point you made sort of came towards the end when you were finalizing the idea of what people should believe in facts rather than posts, and I really liked that at the end. But again, it came only in the last sentence. I know that you were building on it earlier, but I thought you could have made that one a little bit stronger at the end. For this round, I'm going to give my 10 points to the opposition team.
So basically, it's a good wrap up for the debate. I think you guys are doing a lot of help to rescue how the debate could potentially go otherwise. On the proposition team, yes, you have a very clear structure as the speakers. That said, though, so basically you have 2 rebuttals and you have 2 close-up arguments. For the 2 rebuttals, one is quite strong, the other is quite semi-strong. With the 2 wrap-up arguments, the same thing. One is really strong, the other is a bit weak for me. But do not let your emotion take control of your speech so that you don't swallow a lot of sounds. With the opposition team, yes, you spend a lot of time on rebuttals, whereas it should be a more balanced between rebuttals and wrapping up your arguments of your team as well. Some of the rebuttals ideas good, some of the rebuttals idea not so good, and also because you don't have enough time to actually wrap up your team debate argument. But I appreciate that you make it clear with like very clear approach so that it's very easy to follow and understand. But that said, I have to give my points to the team that have a stronger structure and argument in this case. So by 10 points, we go to the proposition team.
Okay. Thank you, judges. Debatable Piggies, you went from 30, now you guys have 50 points. Is that correct? Firesetters, 30 to 40. But that doesn't mean anyone has won yet, because we still have a final round. That is the reply speech. And this will determine who will be the winner tonight. All right, so girls, thank you so much. Please go back to your seats. With the final match coming up, we went from 30 to 50 points for the Debatable Pigs. For the Firesetters, we went from 30 to 40. It's still anyone's game at this moment, but we'll be back in a second. See you soon.
This time, the score has changed. The proposition side has the upper hand with 20 points from Tao Chang's convincing speech.
Because on social media, every account is the same, and that's why they get the tendency to compare themselves to other social media to actually get more likes than others, and that is why they are incentivized to want more attention and to become better than other accounts.
We help people to understand each other better as they see what the other people post on the social medias. They can have discussion.
I definitely think that the proposition side today have done a really, really good job.
I'm going to give my 10 points to the opposition team.
The game is very close. Tune in for the reply speech right after the break.
Welcome back to The Debaters, produced and broadcasted by VTV7, an educational channel here in Vietnam. We have gone through 3 main components of tonight's debates, with lots of energy, arguing, and some tapping of the bell here, so getting some energized people. However, we're not done yet. So with the final match, we have the reply speech, which is vital, and each judge here will be giving out 5 points. So it's anyone's game at this moment. So if you think you're going to win right now, you don't know yet. So please welcome on stage from the Debatable Piggies, TRIểN N. And from the Firesetters. Please welcome on stage, ~NG Halti. So with the reply round, this is the final match. You guys currently have 50 points, 40 points. So for the Firesetters, you need all the judges to give you their 5 points. For you, a little bit easier on that end. But remember, for the rules tonight, you have 2 minutes to give your speech. There is no POI, so no interruptions, no questions. And the opposition team, you will be going first. Are you ready?
I think so.
You think so? Because there's a lot of weight on you. Your whole team is relying on you. Do you think you can pull this off?
I really hope so.
I hope so too. I hope so too. I hope you guys do very well, but I'm excited to see the debate. So without further ado, let's begin.
In my reply speech, I would like to compare the cases of both sides. First of all, in your case, you have drawn up a world that is too negative about the sharing culture on social media. Why? You mentioned about fake news, about hackers, and about people only post and only share information for only views. Those are a negative aspect of social media. While on the other hand, social media can have a lot of other advantages. And we believe that in our side, we have showed you a fuller look on social media. We have showed you how social media, this sharing culture can involve fake news, can involve maybe news that aren't entirely true because they have feelings and emotion in it. And we have also shown you the good side of these is that people sharing news, it can reach a wider range of audience, and it could be a very fast approach to readers and to followers. Even and let's say in your case, even in the best scenario where you are increasing the values of face-to-face conversation, where you are protecting the privacy of the users and where you are avoiding cyberbullying, you are still decreasing the value of a very important platform, social media, a very important platform in giving news and information to reach people of a wider range at any time. And for those reasons, we believe that we should win this debate. Thank you.
So first, I'm going to compare the two worlds, where in your world, the sharing culture keep increasing. In our world, we oppose this right of sharing culture. So readers, you say that they have to decide what is right or wrong, but many people, they don't have enough knowledge or strong mind strength to decide. So will they receive the right information, or they will have bad influence by this kind of sharing culture? And you said that they will understand the society better through this kind of social media sharing. But in what way? Are they getting it in the right way, or are they understand it in a more biased way by the people that don't have background knowledge on social media? Because not many of them have this background knowledge, and anyone has a say. And are they safe with your kind of safe screen or something? What if they screen cap this conversation and then they post it on the social media that you said that your sharing culture will benefit? And on the outside world, they don't have evidence to do that. But in the social world, they leave trace and there will be evidence. And you said that they tackled down social issue. But will they tackle it down, or they will add to the issues? People will be judgy and they'll be aggressive about this problem, and you're actually hurting the problems, hurting the people, and not actually bringing a real solutions by expert, and it will increase cyberbullying. Ours will protect the legitimacy and importance of verify information and leading the public to a more reliable force. And we decrease the pressure on the people who have pressure to have put on a perfect profile, and what they have, they can keep it to themselves, and they're not being judged by others. And we also decrease cyberbullying by stop the toxic mentality to go viral. So on our side, we've done a better job on protecting both the users, the network, and also the society. So we believe that we win on this debate round. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, teams. I know you're eager to hear from the judges, but they're actually not going to give you any feedback right now. They are going to be doing the scores themselves, but we will be finding out very, very soon. So girls, thank you so much. Debatable Piggies, Firesetters, please return to your seats. And for the audience at home, I'm sure you're eager to find out who actually won, but we'll see you in a second. Welcome back to the final announcement of the winner tonight from the debaters. Girls, Debatable Piggies, Firesetters, you guys feeling all right?
Not quite.
So for you guys, I have the 3 judges with me right here. I have the 3 judges right here with me. Right here is the final results. So for the first team, proposition, opposition team. We have 5 points for the proposition team. All right, for the second opposition team, I'm sorry. Proposition team, 5 points. Last but not least, proposition team, opposition team. It's going to go to the proposition team tonight. So congratulations, the Debatable Piggies. Dear friends, tonight, the debaters, we have successfully come to a completion. The students here, I hope that they were able to improve their English, practice their critical thinking, their vocabulary, their rapid fire speed, especially with their talking, which you guys are doing quite a bit of tonight. Because with debate, we're not really looking for a winner or loser, but we're looking for people to improve themselves with their listening and being open-minded from a different perspective, and also being able to speak to somebody who they might not agree with. So thank you so much, and today, that is it for this episode. We'll see you later.